He formally retired at the age of 70, but he was still dabbling in it all this time. So it is a good career. You will probably take it to your grave with you also. If you're successful at it, you might not. If you're not successful at it, then come talk to me before you bail out, okay? I have a story that I held my first open house at the age of 8 years old with my dad, which is kind of a funny story, but we won't get into that. I have been doing this a long time. Some people kid me that I sold Fred Flintstone his first house. But anyhow, this class is more about a mindset. A lot of the other classes you're going to take subsequent to this will be more the nuts and bolts, how to write a contract, how to greet buyers and things like that. Salesmanship, negotiating between different realtors is another class that I teach. But this one is really about the mindset. I might confuse you with some of these fancy words in here that we use in graduate school, like core competencies and SWOT analysis and all that stuff, but it really is simple. I'm going to try to break it down for you and redefine those definitions, because MBAs, for the most part, think they know everything, but they don't. All right, so let's take a look. Stars business planning. The old saying is, if you don't, what is it? If you don't plan,
You fail to plan.
if you fail to plan,
to fail.
plan to fail. Right. So it's not on the PDF here, so I'm not remembering it. Okay, this is the business planning and implementation. Very important, implementation. You can plan all day long, but if you don't implement it or execute it, nothing's going to happen. Okay, so the things we will cover today, first are your vision and mission statement. Those sound like pretty lofty ideas there. Then your actual business planning. And then we'll talk very specifically about your marketing mix and your target markets. These are very important that you define these very early on in your career. Target markets specifically, because that's what's going to move you forward and where you're going to be getting your business from. Okay? And of course, then you'll set some goals. How much money do you guys want to make this year? 100? Yeah, 250? Let me tell you something about this company. Last year, we sold over $1 billion in real estate. $1 billion. That's a lot of money, folks, especially in this market in Denver. We're climbing out of the recession. We have numbers that show that we've been climbing out now for 2 years. And this year is looking up again very well. So we had last year 10 people, top 10 people in this company made over $250,000 in commissions. It's not hard to do if you have that vision and you really have the passion to go after it. My dad told me a long time ago, he says, this business can be the easiest job you'll ever have, or it can be the hardest one you'll ever have. Take your pick. He says, but I will guarantee you, if it's the hardest, you'll also make the most money. It'll be the least paying job you'll ever make if it's easy. So, that being said, as we assess your goals, write them down. There's been some studies done that people that write their goals down actually achieve them more so than people that just put them in their head and then deal with them on a day-to-day basis, because our memories are short, so you forget about your goals from day to day. So write them down. Okay, do you have a vision? Anybody have a vision here they want to share with us? How about a villa in Cabo San Lucas overlooking the ocean? Maybe another one in Vancouver with a private jet. Anybody have those kind of visions? How about visions of just having all your kids graduate from college? Having all your kids married and you pay for the wedding cash? How about just a Mercedes? It didn't come with your license, did it? You didn't get the Mercedes, you didn't get a paycheck when it came in the mail. So, Vision statement, let me just define the vision statement. A vision statement is something you aspire to, okay? And then a mission statement tells who you are, what your company does, and what your core values stand for, okay? Keep them as very simple as possible. Your workbook does try to prod you to create a vision statement and a mission statement. So the mission statement is basically going to get you there. All right, let's take a little structured look at Cherry Creek Properties here. Cherry Creek Properties Real Estate, if you look at the main office down on the first floor, we have accounting, we have finance, we have production compliance. And then under that, we have 950 broker associates. Okay? Now, what do you think the job of those broker associates is? Okay? Is it a job? That was kind of a trick question. It's not a job. If you had a job, maybe some of you still do have a part-time job. Okay? The difference between a job and what you're doing here is a job, you have a tiered management system, which you're just another number in the company. You all know that. You've worked for corporations. You're limited to income. Your business plan is cast by the board of directors. They tell you what to do every year and what the goals are. And you have a pre-planned set of tasks for each employee within that company. Each management has its own tasks. And it's kind of a let it happen attitude. So you wait for your boss to tell you what to do in the morning, you tell them what to do that year, they tell you everything. This is the mindset I want you to start thinking about. You are a professional real estate marketing company. Lots of times people ask, you know, I hear this all the time, what do you do? I'm in real estate. That's too bad. You're in real estate? How'd you get in there? With a cage or something? How do you get out? And then, or I'm a realtor. How many people still hear that from their fellow people? I'm a realtor. Folks, there's no A in realtor except in the beginning. It's a 2-syllable word, not 3. Don't say it. And I hear people saying it, it just drives me crazy. And, by the way, you're not allowed to use that word if you're not a member of the board. You know that? So if you work for Cherry Creek Properties, Inc., you're not allowed to use realtor. You're not allowed to have the emblem on your signs. Don't put it on there. So anyhow, you're a professional marketing company. You are the management company, and you build the support systems. You'll have lenders, you'll have title companies, you'll have all these people supporting you, advertising companies. Your marketing plan is visualized by you and executed by you. You make it happen. If you don't make it happen, you don't have a company. It's that simple. This is not a job. You'd be surprised how many people come to me and say, what am I supposed to be doing? Yeah. Go out, shake some hands, and find some clients. That's what you're supposed to do. All right, so now, here's your self-directed marketing company. Doesn't look like me, but maybe it does. Does anybody know who that is?
The Mad Magazine.
Yeah, Alfred E. Newman. Yeah. What, me worry? Okay, so this is your self-directed marketing company. And as it is, you're going to set up basically your own little divisions, okay? So you're going to have strategy in one section, you're going to have lead generation in another section, and it just might be a little portion of your desk. You might have, you know, the left side of your desk is lead generation and strategy, and the right side of your desk is lead conversion and customer service. That's about as big as your divisions get right now. But as the company grows, you might have other people working underneath you, just like Dino does. So let's take a look at each one of those divisions. First one is strategy. That's where you develop your marketing mix. That's what you think about. That's what you wake up in the morning thinking. What is my vision? What is my mission statement? My marketing mix, I'm gonna go after, my pricing is gonna be such. Your marketing mix deals with what they call the 4 Ps. You have your product, your place where you're gonna conduct your business, your pricing, and what type of promotions you're gonna use. Target markets, are you gonna go going after FSBOs? You can have a geographical farm. Are you gonna go after expired listings? Hey, not a bad place to start. Expired listings are what? They're people that wanna sell. They just didn't have a good realtor the last time, maybe. Boy, I'll tell you what, recently I am seeing a lot of incompetent realtors on the other side of the transaction with my mentees. It's scary. People don't call you back. So this is an opportunity for you guys to elevate yourself against all the rest. Cherry Creek Properties has a great support system here. Use it. And if you don't know how to use it, talk to your mentor, okay? And then your marketing plan, of course. You're going to write up a marketing plan and you're going to execute all of these, your target market and your marketing mix, and that becomes part of your strategy. Part of your strategy also is goal setting for the year and how many deals you want to do per month and how much money you want to make. So right now we're focusing on roughly 100 grand, right? Might get by on 100 grand? So, right? I thought so. It's not a bad income. All right, let's take a look at lead generation. All right. This is marked in yellow because of all 4 of those divisions. Where do you think this ranks? As far as importance within your own little company?
Hi.
You're the top.
Top. In fact, it is number 1, it is number 2, it is number 3, and it is number 4. I don't know how to emphasize it. Because without this, these don't occur. It was said by Peter Drucker that in American business, and you think about this, and I do get arguments with this statement, that you won't win. In American business, nothing happens until something is sold. Nothing happens until something is sold. You can have the best accounting department, you can have the best finance department, you can have the best customer service department, you can have the best production and logistics department, okay? And they're all set up, and they're all ready to go. You get all this product on the shelf, okay? Nothing's happening until somebody goes out and sells something. Then it all starts rolling. You guys have sometimes been called the gatekeepers in real estate. Nothing happens until you sell something or list something. And what happens after you list something? Oh boy. Advertising shows up on your doorstep. I can make your business cards. I can do this. I can do your brochures. Title company shows up. I need to do an O&E for you. I need to do your labels for you. We need to do this. We just sold listings. The lenders are showing up. Hey, you got that buyer? We can, get these buyers pre-qualified. You are the gatekeeper. Once that initiates, everybody follows behind you, and they all want your business. So, this is the most important part, is your lead generation. Media campaigns, we're going to go into that a little bit. Public relations and prospecting, and of course referrals. Those are probably the 3 most prominent areas where you're going to get your leads generated from. Long-term referrals is what it's all about in this business. It takes a while to get there though. All right, and then lead conversion. That is the actual listing and the sale of the property. Once you get the lead, you get the referral coming in, you go out and you list the property, or you sell the buyer home and start showing them something. You nurture that process, and the actual contract sometimes needs a lot of work. So that's the process of actually closing the property and turning over the keys. Customer service, that has to deal with loyalty. Your people, you're going to want to ask them for referrals in the future. You're going out into the community and you're sponsoring things. You're networking with people, sponsoring baseball teams and stuff like that. Those just help get your name out. It's good customer service. And then to get the repeat business and referrals, you're also going to have to deliver good customer service afterwards. A good example is you close a house, you sell to a buyer a house, okay? January, all of the sales you made that year, pull the the HUD 1 out of every one of those transaction files, and in January, send it to them, all your buyers. It's just another way to touch base with them and say, hi, how you doing? Here's your HUD. By the way, your tax accountant's going to want this because it addresses on line 573 what was the deduction for that year. Those are actual deductions in their year. So it's just a nice thing. It's part of building that repeat business and trying to get a referral. So you may have closed them in June and they haven't heard from you since, which is a no-no. But then, you know, it opens the door again in January. Send them a HUD 1. All right, so that's basically your company and how it's going to look. Keeping the emphasis in lead generation. All right, here's what, you know, people ask me, what is the biggest pitfall starting out in this business? The biggest pitfall in this business is actually time management. If you look at this, what this depicts is, in the beginning, you start off with your marketing. You're out prospecting, you're sending newsletters, you're working real hard, and you're putting out a lot of paper. You're holding open houses, you're greeting people, you're passing out cards, really going after the marketing well, okay? So what happens? Oh, now the sales start taking off because your marketing is really gaining traction. So the marketing is really taking a lot of your time up here. And of course, the sales also start taking off and involving even more of your time. What happens is when you get up to this point here, your marketing drops off. You forget about it. You get up in the morning, you open up your email, and oh God, there's all kinds of drama there. Oh, I can't get qualified for a loan, oh, contract's full, you know, whatever, okay? Little hint, don't open your email until 12 noon. I'm serious. Do your marketing from 9 to 12 in the morning. Trust me, you're going to open that email at noon, and the problem will still be there. Okay, it's not going anywhere. Sometimes they solve themselves between 9 and 12 also. Just a little hint. Part-time management. So your marketing drops off. Your sales are doing really well. You close. You got 6 sales that month. Bank account looks real nice. You haven't done any marketing though. So what happens? There go your sales. So you ride this roller coaster. Up and down, up and down. 6 sales one month. Next month you don't do for 2 or 3 months. And then you're redoing all your marketing planning again. And you start it all off and find new leads, and then you start off again, and then you have 6 sales again. So you ride the roller coaster, and it'll burn you out. That'll burn you out faster than anything. The aim of marketing, this is another Peter Drucker quote, the aim of marketing is to understand the customer so well that the product or service fits them and sells itself. And that's eventually what you want to get to. Right now, you're going out and you're meeting people in open houses and you're saying, hi, how you doing? My name is Randy Barustic, and I've been in this business for quite a while, and I'd like to help you find a new home if you can. Okay? So you're trying to bring the people to you. You're trying to get them to come to you. All right? Eventually, what you want to do is have them attracted to you. You're not going out and getting them. They're coming to you by referral, through your marketing, and so forth. Business becomes a lot easier when they're coming to you versus you going out and getting it. Right now, you need to go out and get it. So when it fits them and sells itself, then you know they're being attracted to you on a regular basis. Okay? If you want me to stop, anybody wants to take notes on stuff like this, just tell me.
Yeah, could you go back to that? I'm almost got it.
Peter Drucker's a great business guru. Very sales oriented. Another one I like is Napoleon Hill. Good book to read is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's a real small paperback. You could probably read it in a day and a half. Another good one is,
I'm good.
I'm sorry, what was that first one?
the book?
Yes.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. The other one is, what is that? Beth, you said it the other day. One about Babylon.
Richest Man in Babylon.
The Richest Man in Babylon. Very good book to read. Kind of sums it up also. Okay? So, creating your marketing plan. Start off with an objective and what your outcome you want to have, how much money you want to make. Take a look at your 4 marketing P's, marketing mix. We're going to look at your core competencies and your competitive advantage. There's a little MBA thing there, huh? Core competencies, what's that? Okay. We're going to go after your target market. We're also going to take a look at your marketing strategy. All right. First objective is to focus on the mission statement and set the goals for that year. Okay?
Is this in here?
No. She described that at the beginning. We don't print
Okay.
the whole PowerPoint out. It's on
Oh, right on the dashboard.
the dashboard under files and you can print it out.
Thank you.
We just print out the workbook, so we get into some of the actual work here. It becomes cumbersome printing those out every class. So you can get these online. All right, so your first objective is to focus on the mission statement and set the goals to fulfill them. State how the marketing plan will be executed and when, very important. How are you going to execute it? You can plan all you want. The outcome will be to achieve certain pre-planned milestones along your pathway also. So set milestones for yourself. You know, your first $1 million is a milestone in sales. Maybe your second $1 million. And then when you reach $5 million, $8 million, $10 million. $10 million, we're beyond 100,000 a year. Way beyond. You know, top producer in this company last year made $500,000 in commissions. Alone. Just commissions. I forget what his sales volume was. And that's all residential. It wasn't in commercial either. The 4 P's of marketing. Here's where we get into the actual market planning. You're going to define your product or your service. What kind of service are you going to offer to your buyers and your sellers? Okay? Is it full service, or are you going to offer the 3 P's? The old 3 P's statement was, oh yeah, he's a discount broker. He'll give you the 3 P's. What's the 3 P's? Put up a sign in the yard, put it in the MLS, and pray. And that's the extent of your marketing plan. Okay? And I'll do it for $500. Okay, well, you just got the 3 P's handed to you. And I'll call you in 6 months when the house is expired off the MLS. Place. This might deal with, you know, where are you going to specialize in? You're going to specialize in Northwest Denver, you're going to specialize in downtown Denver, Highlands Ranch, geographical farms. Be very specific about that. What is your pricing structure going to be? Are you going to offer discounts? Are you going to, you know, rebate to your buyers? Are you going to be a full service broker? You're going to offer discounts off of the 7% listing? Maybe if they buy a replacement home from you, you might offer them a discount of, you know, 2%, something like that. It's not bad. You're making very little on the listing when you do that, but you know, you're going to make it on the sale of the other home. But you don't discount it in your listing agreement. You discount it in the buyer broker agreement. Anyhow, promotion. What kind of promotions are you going to use? Are you going to use newsletters? Are you going to use just postcards? Are you going to do media campaigns? Are you going to do radio? Are you going to do television? Are you going to do social media? Internet? You know, you have to define all these things. That will put together your mix as to how you're going to market yourself. And this really sets a clear definition for yourself also. Here's a little thing about all 4 of those together, and they come in with your marketing mix. All right, here's something I want everybody to do. Write this down. This is called a SWOT analysis. Just about every corporation in America today, their board of directors does this once a year at least. They sit down and they look at a SWOT analysis, and SWOT comes from SWOT. Okay, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Keep in mind now that strengths and weaknesses up here, these are internal. These are you personally in most cases. Opportunities and threats, these come from without your company, the outside. So you're going to find different opportunities will come to you. Years ago, it was REOs. Now it's not so much anymore. First of all, let's start with your strengths. And then once you put this together, I want you to sit down with your mentor and say, this is what I came up with. And they're going to go, huh? What? Well, this is what I've looked at, and these are the things I need to work on, and these are the things I need to use more. For instance, your strengths. If you know you're good with face-to-face sales skills, maybe you want to hold open a lot of open homes, okay? Open houses. Because you're good at meeting and greeting people. You're saying, hey, how you doing? My name is so-and-so, and I'm good at this, okay? I can tell you all about this house. Maybe you're not so good on the phone, okay? My impression of myself is, I hate the phone. I hate talking on it. I don't have a good sales voice on the phone. Somewhat monotone. I'm very good at face-to-face. I was on site for a builder for 7 years. Started and finished 5 communities and built 350 homes and sold them. So I'm very good with face-to-face. But you need to establish these strengths yourself. Okay? These are just examples. So write down all your strengths. Okay? What you perceive. And these are going to change, and you keep rolling these over in your mind every day. When you get up and you're standing in the shower and you're thinking about things. What am I good at? Okay? At the same time, what are you weak at? A lot of new people, I can tell you right now, confidence. You're weak in confidence. Okay? You haven't closed many deals. You're not sure how to start that transaction. You're not sure how to start that relationship sometimes. My weaknesses are I don't like cold calling. Some of the new people, you might have a lack of funds for media investment. Okay? Well, long term, you're going to need to have funds to create some sort of media campaign. But in the beginning, that's okay. But it is a weakness. Write it down. Okay? Lack of knowledge for what types of media campaigns to run. Do you do newspapers, or do you do, of course not. Not this day and age. Those guys are trying to even survive themselves. You don't use a newspaper, you're not going to use Homes and Land magazine. When I first got into the business in 1989, Homes and Land magazine at the grocery store was about that thick. Nothing but, and it was an inventory. Now you go there and it's maybe 2 or 3 pages, and who knows if they'll survive. So, again, lack of knowledge in media campaigns. Some things that are far more productive are drip campaigns. We have a drip system on our dashboard, so you might look into that also. Okay, outside of your company, opportunities. Where can you find opportunities? I suggest everybody watch and read RealtorMag.com from the National Association of Realtors. There's a lot of ideas in there that they will present to us from time to time. What is the market doing? Are we moving away from REOs?
Oh, yeah.
Are we moving away from foreclosures?
Mhm.
Yeah. Are we moving back towards a more traditional? Yeah. And we're also seeing a lack of inventory out there. So if you're working as a buyer broker, you really have an uphill climb because you're one of 7 making an offer on a property. Maybe you want to think about opportunities in listing properties, traditional properties. Adopting a geographical farm. Okay. Opportunities. When you look at, for instance, a geographical farm, these are a couple things I just wrote down. Keep this in mind. You want a high turnover ratio in that neighborhood. Okay? You don't want to go into a neighborhood where there's 200 homes and 2 sold last year. People move in there and they die. They never leave. You don't want to even think about farming that neighborhood. There's no turnover ratio. The other one is make sure there's no dominant competitor from another agent in that neighborhood. If you go in there and you look up at all the listings and there was 30 homes sold in there last year, wow, that's a good turnover ratio. But you look in there and there's Pat McGuire's name, Pat McGuire, Pat McGuire, Pat McGuire. You gotta stay away from it. Unless you're brave. You go after them. You might get lazy. Threats. Decreasing inventory, as we're seeing in the market right now, is things you need to write down and be aware of them. Things change in the way of threats. Rising interest rates. I'm not so sure that's a threat. Because historically, when interest rates go up, what happens? Buyers come out of the woodwork. Oh boy, this is the last chance. We better get qualified right away. And then you really see a buying frenzy. Rising interest rates also will create that. They'll also create, I don't know how to explain it. What it does is it also creates, when you raise interest rates, you'll see a slowdown in the market, okay? And investors will start looking at new ways to sell their money. Keep this in mind, guys, as real estate agents. Mortgage brokers have to sell money in order to make a living. Money sitting idle by itself, and they can't sell it. It's just like any other commodity. It's worthless. Okay? They have to sell it. So they'll get creative when you see rising interest rates. How are we going to sell this money? You'll start seeing things like stated income loans again. Everybody says, oh, you'll never see that again. Yeah, you will. You'll see subprime loans again. You'll see people going in and say, okay, yeah, I'll qualify, but it's going to be 10%. You're going to start seeing second mortgages. You're going to see the creative financing come out again once it rising interest rates take hold. Because they can't sell the money, so they got to get creative again. Local job growth. Keep your eye on that. If we have a lot of people, being hired, you have large companies like Coors hiring. You have companies relocating here. Like last year, for instance, Charles Schwab opened up a new center down here in Denver Tech Center. 1,000 new employees. 1,000. Fidelity opened a new office. 500 new employees. When you see that kind of growth, that presents an opportunity to you. Maybe you want to go talk to the HR department of those people and say, hey, moving any people in here, do you mind giving them my name? Give them the card. I can help them find a house. Get to know the HR department so you can get in the door. Okay? That presents an opportunity. All right. Most important components of any lead generation plan, prospecting and media campaigns. Just simply put. Okay? Talk about the differences. Prospecting is it's a type of marketing task. It is actually utilized best with follow-up to a media campaign that you're currently engaged in. But you actively seek out the prospect. You actively go out the front door, out in your car, and you seek out that prospect that day. Nice thing about prospecting is that it yields quick results. It's less expensive financially than media campaigns. Media campaigns cost money. You can go out and hold an open house for no money and get a couple leads out of it. That's a good prospecting tool. It's more focused on one-on-one relationships, as most sales are, just one customer at a time. Media campaigns deal with masses of people at a time. It's more labor intensive than media campaigns also. Okay, what are some of the target markets you might go after when you're prospecting? Expired listings. Short sales, less so. We're really dying off in short sales. For sale by owners. Another person that wants to sell their home. So you're out there in these neighborhoods, there's 400 or 500 homes in there, and you're thinking to yourself, who in here wants to sell their home? For sale by owner wants to sell his home. They're motivated. They just don't like realtors, for the most part. But that's because they ran into a couple bad ones prior to meeting you. And you're going to be the ultimate professional, right? All right. Referrals, you get those from your sphere of influence. Commerce organizations like Rotary and Kiwanis, you want to join, organizations like that. Church groups. Another place for referrals is on-site builder representatives. Do you ever think about going into a builder like D.R. Horton and say, oh, by the way, how many people did you come in this weekend and ask you to buy a house that needed to sell a home? Well, they can't buy that builder's home without selling their existing home. Would you give me their name? I'll go over and list their home. get it sold, I'll guarantee the seller too. Which is another program you need to talk to Dino about. It's just a good source of referrals or on-site builders. When I was on-site, I gave out a lot of leads to builders. In fact, I turned around a community that was dead in the water. 2 previous developers had gone in there and they beat all the realtors out of their co-ops. So I couldn't get one realtor in Longmont to come in and show those homes. They said, forget it, we were beaten twice before, we're not going in there again. Okay? I turned that neighborhood around by promising them listing leads of people coming in to buy homes from me. Because people buying homes from me had to sell their home in Longmont. So guess what? You show up at my doorstep on Monday and you got a buyer, you're going to leave with a listing lead. That turned that neighborhood completely around. I had realtors banging at my doors for leads and bringing buyers. Business begets business. Simple saying in this business. Business begets business. And that's what referrals are all about. Open houses. Just like being on site with a builder, holding an open house. As a builder, I was holding an open house every day. I just had 2 beautifully decorated models behind me also. And every realtor out there knew that I had these decorated models so they could bring people by for decorating ideas. Imagine that. Open houses are a good source not only for buyers that are looking for a home, but they're also a good source of getting to know who the sellers potentially in the future are in that neighborhood. You get to know the neighbors in the neighborhood. And then they go, well, you know what? We tried to sell our house 2 years ago and we had a real doofus for a realtor. You might want to come over and talk to us Monday night. Oh, there you go. All right, door knocking, geographical farm. Do not be afraid of knocking on somebody's door. It's the easiest conversation to start up with a person in the neighborhood. Okay? There's 2 things, 3 things that everybody loves to talk about. Their grandchildren, your house. What else? What's that? Themselves, yes. It's another good hint when you're in sales. Try not to talk about yourself too much. Give the elevator pitch, and then you're done with it. Try to find out more about them. Prod for questions. Get them to talk about themselves. Then they love you because, man, I got to tell this guy all about myself. He's a great guy, yeah. And this delivers the message of what services you offer and how you work to perform them. This system is meant to attract customers to you that you don't even know yet. So you're doing broad media campaigns. It does appeal to a broader audience. It builds your brand recognition and name recognition also. It is more financially expensive, of course, than prospecting. Like holding an open house is free. This is going to cost you some money. About $1 a piece is about the average for a piece that you mail out, to say, for a geographical farm area. It's also less time consuming than prospecting because you can hire somebody like Nate and he can put all the stamps and the labels, and the title company can send the labels in for you, and just mass media, 2,000 in one shot. It'll take you about half an hour to get it done. Well, another 5 minutes to write the check. Media campaigns to consider: direct response mailings. And that's to your farm and your sphere of influence, people that you've sold homes to before. That's what we call our sphere of influence. It might be people that are in your membership groups. Direct response mailing is different than mass mailing. Mass mailing to me is, hi, I work for the Balloon Real Estate Company and I'm the greatest in the world, and they put their high school picture in there, and of course I can sell your house, and I have kids and I have grandkids and I got a picture of my dog. Use me to sell my house, your house. Worthless. It is not a direct response. What is direct response? Does anybody know? Direct response is a call to action. You have something in there that calls them to take action. Okay? Call me or go online and get my 10 tips of how to get a home cheaper or a good deal. Okay? 10 questions you need to ask every lender before you get pre-qualified. Okay? How to find the home of your dreams. 27 tips on how to fix up your home free without any expense and get it staged to put on the market. things like that. So when they call, they're gonna get a response from you and get something for free, okay? You want a call to action. Call me and I'll give you this. Call me and I'll give you that, okay? That's direct response. The other way is just fruitless. I can tell you that. You'll send out 2,000 when you get a response. Email drip marketing. Drip marketing, I don't know if you guys know anything about drip marketing, what that is. It's, we have it accessed on our dashboard also. Say you go into an open house and 15 people come through on an average. And you know that some of them are interested, some aren't interested. Some think they're interested, but they can't qualify. So what you do is you put them all into a drip media campaign. That drip media campaign, you separate them according to what they can do. They might be a first-time home buyer, so you constantly educate them on a regular basis. So every 2 weeks, a little drip goes out in your market, into their email, okay? Lenders use it a lot. Somebody that can't qualify right now, they'll put them in the drip marketing, and they'll slowly educate them on how to increase their credit rating, how to get rid of the bad stuff. They'll be calling them every so often also out of that drip. I have a couple lenders that actually will do that for me, and then surprise, a year from now, hey, that person you met in the open house last year that had a credit rating of 580, well guess what, I got it up to 680, and I got her qualified for an FHA loan. Wonderful campaign when it works. Websites, social media sites, we have classes in both of those. Your signage is important, but again, just like newspapers, it's starting to play less and less of a billing these days. Billboards, not so much. Radio ads. Radio ads can be very fruitful, but they're very expensive also. Cable network ads, magazines and newspapers are also dwindling. All right, difference between prospecting and media campaigns. Again, prospecting is short-term. Media campaigns are more of a long-term campaign that bring you long-term results. One is more labor-intensive, the other one's more money-intensive. Prospecting one-on-one. So this is kind of a summary of the two. Goal setting, since you don't know where you're going, I love this thing, since you don't know where you're going, any road will pretty much take you there. Alice in Wonderland. So if you don't have a vision, you don't know where you're going, you don't have any goals, guess what? You'll make it. Where, but you'll make it. You'll go down some road. Again, Napoleon Hill. The book that he wrote was Think and Grow Rich. The goal is a dream with a deadline. So take your dreams and say, I will accomplish that by a certain date. Well, it comes a goal. Goal setting can be personal, it can be professional and financial, it can be physical, or it can be just an emotional thing. Emotional well-being, having balance in your life between your spirit and your family and everything, and your work life. It's probably the hardest thing to attain is that balance. Smart goals. So in order for goals to be, they need to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-bound, and they must have clarity, be challenging, commitment, and you must give yourself feedback with them, and they must be somewhat complex. Okay, it's not a goal if, gee, I'm going to sell one house this year. It's not that complex, not that hard. Importance. Rate your goals in the importance by which they mean the most to you. Again, this is the balance. This is really important. You'll get really burned out in this business. All you do is work. Forget about your family. They won't be there. You go home and the house will be empty someday. Forget about your spirituality. Well, you won't have a soul. Sell it out to the business. Maintain some balance in your life. Okay, make a commitment to reach your goal. Commit yourself to a detailed accountability to yourselves and others, and record your progress again every night. I wouldn't do it every night because then you might not be able to sleep some nights. Do it before you leave the office that day. I always look through my, not my day timer, I just keep a regular incoming. And I just write everything down. I need to call this person back. So I go through those notes at the end of the day and I say, oh, if I didn't get back to that person, I put it into the next day. It's not real regimented, it's not real complicated. You just roll it over into the next day, but do it before you go home and leave your work at work. Oh, this is a good one. I'm not real clear on what he was talking about. If it's possible, we will do it here. But what he was talking about, this is Tom Hopkins. Tom Hopkins is a real estate guru and a coach. He's been doing it for over 40 years. His son is now doing it also. Tom is real, he's a motivational speaker. So he was talking about the bumblebee. Okay, back to your strengths and your weaknesses. Okay, let's take a look at the weaknesses of a bumblebee. He's got tiny little wings. He's got a furry body. He's not real aerodynamic. But nobody told the bumblebee he couldn't fly. So if somebody's telling you you can't sell real estate, remind them of the bumblebee. Or if you're telling yourself you can't do this business, remind yourself of the bumblebee. Okay? Nobody told that bumblebee they couldn't fly. They did a pretty good job. Not a great job. They're not real fast if you're watching. Okay, another famous saying by Thomas Edison. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. How many times did he attempt to make the light bulb? Does anybody know? It was 1,000. It was 1,000. Can you imagine that? Who in this room would have quit at 300? I probably would have quit at 10. I don't know. But to be up to you, think about that. You've tried this 950 times, and you still don't have this light bulb figured out. The guy had to be OCD. I mean, he really did. I think they say he was, admittedly. But anyhow, it's just, you just can't give up sometimes. He knew, and he later said this also, that it took him 1,000 attempts to figure out the light bulb, and he said, yeah, but I just learned 999 ways not to make a light bulb. So more of a positive side. This is one I love. Every strike brings me closer to the next home run. Babe Ruth, all-time home run at one time. Now he's third on the list. A couple of guys have passed him up. 10th all-time in batting average, RBIs, slugging percent. Amazing. Okay, but here's the thing. In spite of all these accolades, he also had 1,330 strikeouts. You never heard about that, okay? Which was an all-time record until just recently. Someone passed him up. See, he held the record for the most amount of strikeouts. Never heard about that. Big failure, big weakness. Sorry, babe, we're not going to talk about it. All right, let's get into your workbooks now. Let's take a look at how much money you want to make. Now, this is the goal setting worksheet for listings. And then you'll have one also for buyers. You guys want to take a break? Anybody want to take a break? No? Okay. This is real easy. I want to make $100,000 a year, okay? Of that $100,000, $50,000 of it will come from listings. Okay, so you want to do 50% listings and 50% buyers. So you want to make $50,000 on listings. And this is just an example. Maybe you guys want to do all of it from buyers your first year and then work into listings your second year. Doesn't matter. But you need to know what your goals are going to be. All right, so your first year you want to make $50,000. Average sales price of a home in my area, let's say it's $250,000. You should know this. You need to be an expert in your area, by the way. It's study it, research it, take a little time every day and research your area. What's the average days on market in your area? What is the average sales price of a home in your area? What is the average type of home that sells in the way of architecture? Is it a two-story or is it a ranch? Anyhow, all right, your average commission, let's say it's 2.1% on listings because you have a split with your broker and your mentor right now because you're starting off. And that's based on, say, a 5% listing go up, so you're getting 5%, you're paying out 2.8, so really you're at 2.2, and then after your split, you're at 2.1. You can figure out those numbers pretty easily, okay? So you take that times the 250, you're gonna make 5250 average on each transaction. So you just divide 5250, okay, into 50,000, and that'll tell you how many sales you have to make this year. So you gotta make roughly 10 sales, 10 listing sales to make $50,000. So you just, it's all trickle down. It's not hard to figure out. Then you get into this stuff if you want to. What is the ratio of listings taken? You're going to track, this is something, okay, for every 4 appointments I go on, I make 3 sales. Okay, you'll know that after a period of a year or two. So what is the number of listings I need to reach my listing goal for the first year? Based on, you're going to need to list 12.6 in order to sell 9.52. So round these numbers up. You're going to need to list 13 in order to sell 10. You're going to have 3 expire on you. It's just the way it is. You might not have any expiring. I've never had an expired listing. No, I've had one. It's about 13 years ago. I just don't let them expire. Anyhow, number of listings taken each month, so you divide the total number you need to sell that year, it's a little over 1 month. So, making $100,000 a year, simply put, you need to take 1 listing a month. And on the buy side, do that additional 50,000 to make 100. You need to have half a sale per month. So that's a buyer every other month. Because you're making a little bit more money on your buy side. But again, these are things you need to figure out because right now, just as a for instance, on a listing, if you're listing properties at 5%, or you're listing with gross at 6, and then you're just giving them a discount to 5 if they buy a suitable replacement home from you, okay? What are you making on 5% if you're paying out 2.8? 2.2, okay? So if you're only making 2.2 on the listing, 2.8 on the buyer, buyer brokers are making more money right now. And that is a trend right now. Buyer brokers are making more money, gross commissions. But on a yearly basis, listers are still making more money, even though they're making the 2.2. Go for the 6, go for 7% on your listing contracts. And I'm allowed to say that here because we're all a member of the same company, but don't ever get caught talking about listing commissions to any other broker in town. To warn you. Does anybody know why? Practice in real estate school?
Price fix it?
Yep. It's against federal law. Yeah, they'll come after you. I saw somebody in a discussion group, it was probably 3 months ago, right after I came on board here. And one of the guys I was actually coaching. And somebody opened that Pandora's box right on the discussion group. And this was on the internet. This wasn't in Cherry Creek's discussion group. And they said, what is the average listing percent of a commission that real estate brokers charge these days? And it was just some Joe Blow in the general public. And everybody just dove right into that. Well, I charge 5%, but I charge 4%. Oh my goodness, you guys are opening yourself up for a major, you lose your license.
You can talk about it, you just can't collude. You can't organize and collude with each other.
Yeah, but just, you're just opening yourself
I
up to
know,
that.
it's just, there's a real black mark on real estate agents for not talking about commissions. Like it's this huge no-no, like you're not
Really?
supposed to, and you absolutely can. You just cannot, as a group, choose to set a price.
Okay.
That's, because then it kills the negotiation piece, which is the whole Department of Justice's issue with price fixing.
Okay.
So it's just, sorry, it just really gets to me a little bit because I've noticed it with a lot of friends who are brokers and when I was buying my own home. It was a little odd.
Yeah, well, and they, you know what, here's the thing. If you take a lot of classes with lawyers teaching them, like contract law and stuff like that, they do tend to go to the far end of things and say, just don't do it, you know, to scare you, because they don't want that phone call. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, just don't
It's-
get
it's
together with a
something-
group and agree to something.
Yeah.
That's pretty much, as
Right.
long as you don't do that.
But we're allowed to do it within this company.
Right, right. Don't get together with other companies in a geographic area and decide
Okay.
on it.
And that'd be a hard thing to prove.
It would. But that's true of any organization. It's not just in real estate either. You could have price fixing issues in anything that could possibly be a monopoly. And that's the real issue, is that they're concerned that it could easily be a monopoly.
What's your name?
Marielle?
Last name Wheaton?
No,
Okay.
Ross.
We have a couple attorneys that are working for us now as brokers. So, are you an attorney?
No.
Okay. Just need to know.
No. But my husband, my father, my in-laws,
Yeah,
most of my friends are
mine too.
kind of get,
Yeah, it's, but anyhow, it's crossing over that line that can take place. But you never know. The other thing I was told very early in my career is there are a lot of attorneys out there in Denver. Like we have the most number of attorneys per capita anywhere in the country. There's like 300 people for every one attorney. And a lot of these kids coming out of law school, they got nothing better to do, you know, and they're just like, oh boy, I see a lawsuit.
Well, DU pumps them out more.
Yeah, they pump them out. And then before you know it, you're involved in, you got a summons, and you're like, what's this for? You know, and you got some young kid that wants to make a name for himself. And yeah, he doesn't have any provable damages, he doesn't have any provable cause, but he'll do it. He'll bring it into court because it doesn't cost him much. It'll cost you a lot to stay out. And he knows it. My ex was an attorney. So, here's a plan. Your lead generation plan, you want to have like, say, just set your goals. You want to have like 5 contacts per day in active marketing. 2 mailings per month on the first and third week. You'll set, you know, some of them are informational, some are promotional, and some of them are invitations to certain events. You want to have 1 to 2 open houses per month, and that'll get you there. So based on what your turnover per contact, per mailing, per open house, you take your turnover or your success rate and you equate that to your goal. For instance, on open houses. On an open house, a good open house, you'll have 15 prospects through. Well, out of 15, you'll get 1 prospect. Okay? Well, that prospect, if they buy from you that month, that suits your goal for that month. Okay? So you need to have at least 1 successful open house per month. If you hold 1 successful open house, you don't have to do another one that month. Okay? If you hold 1 that's terrible and no one comes in, you need to hold another open house until you get that 1 prospect. Okay? So set your goals based on your conversions. Okay. How much we have to spend in order to reach your marketing goals? That's another thing. You need to set up a marketing budget based on how many you need to mail out per month to get so many prospects, and how much is that going to cost you per mailing piece. Here's something published by the National Association of Realtors. Now, you're going to generate your own conversion ratios over the years, but this is pretty much what they're telling us. Okay, cold direct mail. Again, cold direct mail is a 2001 ratio. I'm talking about direct response mailings. You get a much better response on direct response than you will with cold mailing. Cold mailing is just saying, hey, here I am, and this is what I've done. doesn't really command a response. Cold internet lead generation, not real high. I mean, you got to really work internet leads before you get a prospect. And then you get down again, ad calls and sign calls and open houses, 15 to 1. That's where I pulled that from. So they're saying for every 15 prospects or 15 visitors to an open house, you get 1 prospect. Okay, well, based on that, you get 1 prospect. If you want to make 2 sales that month, you need to hold 2 open houses, right? It's all on the dashboard, but this is good stuff. This is why I'm saying go to the National Association of Realtors, go to Realtor Mag, and get your ideas. This is where you can get real good ideas from also. Just think about this. Referrals. That's why we emphasize you want to get most of your business from referrals, repeat customers. You get a 3 to 2 chance of selling that property or that buyer. Why do you think the reason for that is? On a referral.
There's a built-in trust.
Exactly. They've already pre-qualified. You don't have to pitch yourself when it's a referral. That person already gave that trust to you when they referred the person over. Very important. Okay, this is going to be something about how your marketing is going to look like. Year 1, your production versus your listing and selling. Okay, so this is going to be a lot of your marketing that'll wane off during the years, and then your production will increase as a result. So you have to do less and less prospecting as time goes on. Your production will go up and up. And there's something else there that was kind of blocked out. Your positioning. How do your clients view your services? Are you an ultimate professional, or are you kind of casual at it? Do your customers know you as a part-time realtor? Okay, that is a profile you do not want to have. You want to look like a professional realtor that does it full-time all the time, and you're on top of the market every day. You know what's going on. Otherwise, they're going to look at you as a part-timer, or they're going to look at you as a reduced commission kind of broker. You're going to be a discount broker. Well, you don't do this really full-time, so, why don't we just do a half-time commission also? Differentiate yourself with integrity, knowledge, and value. Very important. Differentiate yourself. There's a lot of realtors out there you're comparing yourselves to. And like I said, I'm running into a lot of incompetent ones right now. It's sad. And then you go, I'm going to call that broker's broker. Then you look it up in Dora, and they're the employing broker. And they don't call me back for 10 days. I submitted 2 amended extends to you, and I submitted the resolution or the objection, and I haven't heard back from you for 10 days, and now we're coming up on the deadline. And they're the employing broker. So, differentiate yourself with integrity, knowledge, and value. Okay. So, that's pretty much that. And for your next class, which will be lead generation, I want you to just review this class. I want you to write down your thoughts, your dreams and your visions. Where do you want to be a year from now? Where do you want to be 5 years from now? Define who you are with your strengths and weaknesses. Okay? Present those to your mentor. Say, you know what, these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses. What do you think I should be doing? I'm feeling a little weak in confidence. How can I get my confidence up? Well, write a couple deals. It goes through the roof. Nothing like confidence builder when you go to the closing and there's a check for you. And then your customers just love you and they're hugging you and all this. It's the perfect time to ask for a referral, by the way. Okay, focus on your lead generation systems and what you're going to be comfortable with and successful with. Okay? Don't do something if you're not comfortable with it. If you're not comfortable with cold calling, if you're not comfortable with calling internet leads that come in over the internet, you're just not getting the conversion ratio that you feel comfortable with. It's not building your confidence. Don't do it. If you hold open houses very well and you're getting leads out of open houses, hold them open all the time. If you're really good at asking your friends for a referral, Or family members, hey, do you know of anybody that's buying a house in the next year? If you feel really comfortable with that, just do more of it. Do whatever feels comfortable and do it well. And you'll be successful. But don't be a secret agent. I wrote that one. You're a real estate agent, not a secret agent. All right, set realistic, challenging, and obtainable goals and commit to reaching them in a timely and motivated manner. Track your progress and your goal achievements and make adjustments to your marketing plan as you go along, okay? So track your progress, write down your goals, and write down your vision, where you want to be. Paste it on the front of your desk. Here's my vision, that's where I want to be. Might even be a picture of like a nice beach down at Cabo San Lucas or something. Okay, that's it. Any questions?
Oh, yeah.